Well, hello my beautiful Capricorn, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I'm using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Capricorn, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what's going on with you at this moment in time, how you're moving through this time period, and of course what lies on the other side. Now I have to say, before I even start your reading, the Gaia chimes this time round, this has never happened before, but I felt really emotional, really kind of sensitive, emotional, and deep in thought about life, the journey, your beautiful life and all the things that you've been through. And, it kind of made me smile, but at the same time, I started to nearly cry. Okay, so I don't know if I'm picking up on your energy right now. You're thinking about your legacy, about life and your journey and how sensitive you are right now or how emotional you've been with some of the changes that are going on. And I just thought I'd mention it because I pick up on energy, I read energy, but I ground myself before everyone's energy reading that I do. And, I don't tend to tap into my own energy during this reading. So I just thought I'd mention it because, I was like, life challenging, but you have a beautiful life there. And, I feel like you're working really hard to make it something really special. And yes, there's been challenges and you're focused on your journey right now, but I can see that you will conquer and you will get to where you desire. Okay, so that just came through. So I just had to mention it there, So let's get straight to your energy reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Capricorn? What do they need to know right now? Can you please show them? What are they going through at this present moment in time? We have the Ace of Wands, transformation, change, taking the initiative, being that brilliant spark of life that you are, a vision of your future. And I feel like some of you, there is this energy there of perhaps, and it's connected to water. It's like being deeply reflective of the next steps. I mean, there is a start here and there is an end. We have a 10 of Swords. So this can be like a time to embrace a new chapter in your life. Something could be on the cusp of ending for you, or, you're trying to have this new beginning, a new era is upon you, a new way of living, a lifestyle choice. And it was hard to get to this position. Six of Swords, you're being taken out of difficulty. You're being guided. So there's definitely this energy of the journey. That's the earthly plane. I mean, the Six of Swords, this card is literally the journey. And I was picking up on that. It's like all the memories of everything you've experienced. It shaped who you are. You've been through some stuff. And you're strong enough to take the next steps. But now you're protected and directed. So if you've had some sort of challenge or some sort of very difficult or stressful situation, or even an ending for some of you. You know, some of you even may have had to sacrifice something in order to move towards something new. Whatever this is, I feel, well, you got Three of Swords there, something painful has occurred. That's the sensitivity, the sadness, the lament, the smiles, but maybe that's how you're feeling. You're like trying to smile through the sadness and just be practical and get on by right now, and you're hoping for more fairness in the world, and you're just trying to do what you do to get by at this moment in time. And you know, I'm being given this energy that you're still standing. You are walking tall, okay? And my guides are asking me to show you the Ten of Swords right now, because that person is a victor. This is victory. Ten of Swords is reimagined in this card. It indicates, yes, you've been through things not working for you. There's defeat sometimes in life, but this figure is winning because it's opening them up to a new beginning or some sort of new chapter. Sometimes we are redirected from a rejection or sadness or a struggle because the universe wants us to have something better. Sometimes humans, we accept less than we truly deserve, and the universe wants to offer that to you. So I do feel like you're on the cusp of change here. But you've really been through it. You've been through something very challenging indeed. I mean, you have a lot of swords here, which tells me that you're very cerebral right now, deep in thought. And this thought, somehow it's connected to water. So it could be even when you're drinking water or when you're over water. Maybe you're traveling. Some of you may be traveling, and it can be that you're crossing water at this time, and it's making you very reflective on something. And a lot of you could even be very cerebral about the hardship you've experienced. I mean, Three of Swords, right now, it's in your past position. You're leaving the struggle behind. The earthly plane is the Six of Swords. These difficulties, you're not going to face them in the future. You're moving on to uncharted territory, which can be daunting. I mean, the Chariot card as well. I'm looking at this. This is amazing. The Chariot card is movement forward. It is success. It is all about your journey. So, you know, I've come into this reading not really knowing what my guides want me to give you in the energy with the cards that pop out. But instantly, the Gaia chimes gave me this sense of like reflection on the journey of life. The stuff you've been through, the hardships, the pain, the struggle, the sweet memories, the things that make you giggle sometimes when you think back on them and think, wow, how innocent that time was. How wonderful that time was. Will I ever see those times again? The answer is yes. I want you to be aware of that. And again, it's making me feel quite emotional. I do apologize. I'm normally very professional in these readings, but there's this energy of like, wow, things have changed so much. So I'm just going to ground my energy, okay, because I want to be able to give you a very precise reading. This is not to allow the emotion to infiltrate, but of course we're all human. I'm just picking up on this collective wave of energy and challenge, and just being aware as well maybe of global events. You know, there's a lot of challenge with that Ten of Swords. It can be, you know, that things are changing in such a radical way, and there's worry, or there is a lot on your mind right now, and you're wondering how all these changes may affect you in some way, and you're trying to go with the flow. I mean, look at that card. I haven't even got to the end of your cards right now, but this is strongly in your energy right now. We have this King of Swords, which means, oh gosh, it's literally me grounding myself right now with the energy, because it's head over heart, being clear in your truth and being disciplined. So maybe that's what I'm picking up on. There is this need that when the emotions are arising on something, you're like, no, I got to focus on this thing. I need to be disciplined. I need to hold it all together. So some of you may be going through that right now, where you're holding it all together. Highly pressurized situations, you're under a lot of stress, especially cerebral. You have a lot on your mind right now. You may be trying to navigate some sort of change. Now, this doesn't mean it's negative. Like, for example, this change is positive, whatever it is. So it could be that you are entering into a new era of life. You may be even moving to a new neighborhood, upgrading your life. And that feels daunting, and it comes with a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. You know, putting your whole life in boxes and moving to a different neighborhood, you know, it can have a measure on your body where you're just under a lot of responsibility and you feel completely exhausted, fatigue, you know. So it could be that. Or for some of you, you know, there is this need for change, or some of you are like managing stress levels right now in order to find peace of mind, trying to look at things differently. Oh, okay. I'm also seeing a swordfish in the water. This is very random, very unique. I love it. Swordfish. Now, the swordfish can indicate you being very determined to go after something, being on point. I mean, it is a sword as well, and you do have a lot of swords in your reading, so there's obviously a reason. Fishes, they tend to be about abundance, but swordfish can be that you are diligently pursuing something to the very end, and you're going to hit your target. It can also be that you're trying to acknowledge that your words have such a power. You know, thoughts become things, but also your words, it can shape relationships. You know, how you talk to a person can either heal a situation or offer comfort or understanding, reciprocity, but it also can tear a person down. It can really damage a relationship to the point where it's irreparable. So it could be that you are looking at words, because swords are all about words, of course, and thoughts and the mind. This could be also you looking at, yeah, you're definitely looking at like stress, and you may have like gone through some sort of challenge or heartbreak that you're healing right now. That's a major thing that's coming out for a lot of you. But this could be life. It doesn't have to be with a relationship or with a person. I mean, for some of you, it could be as well. There is a king energy, so this could be resolving something with a parent or a guardian, or perhaps repairing something with somebody. Maybe even like in your mind, trying to cathartically let go of something that you've held on to for a long time. But look at this. My gosh. I mean, the swordfish, if you look up the meaning of a swordfish, I'm being given this energy of like pursuit of a dream or a goal, or like not giving up on something, being on target. And it says here, resilience, true grit, and taking a last stand on something. So you could be challenging something or standing up for something, or, you know, you are moving forward. You're not giving up on something. You're moving forward in good faith. You believe in yourself. And there has been troubled times, but you're still standing. I mean, that's what the Nine of Wands is all about. It can be that you've been through stuff. If you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, you know, a figure on the Nine of Wands stands there with one wand in their hand, and the other wands are behind them, and they have a bandage on their head. And it's like, you know what? You are wearing your wounds with pride. You've been through some stuff. It shaped who you are, but you are still standing. And you're not giving up. And I feel the best is yet to come. There's some really good things coming towards you. You have the Sun card here, joy, celebration, success. This is something outside of yourself. So I would say whatever you're going through, the only way is through. But on the other side is joy, contentment, fulfillment, and peace of mind. Okay, so I'm just going to get to your first card. We have the Ace of Wands. So some of you are reshaping your world. This can be a deep dive emotionally for some of you. So it can be that cathartically you're letting go of something in order to have a brand new start, to be free of something that's been challenging. For some of you, it can be that you're trying to quieten any intrusive thoughts, for example, because, you know, the Ten of Swords can be a lot of intrusive thoughts that threaten to tear you down, but it could be that you're using these thoughts to build you up instead. You know, the Ten of Swords means an abrupt ending. So if you have had an abrupt ending, I would say with an Ace of Wands as, you know, your starting position, see this blank canvas as something truly exciting indeed, because you are going to create a masterpiece. That's what I'm seeing here, especially since, you know, the outcome is the Nine of Wands, which means, you know, you're very resilient, and the Sun card is present. This is circumstances outside of yourself. There is going to be joy. You are going to be successful. You are going to reach the pinnacle position that you want to be in, and you will be celebrated for it. You will be the victor. So even if you're having a conflict or an argument with a person right now, I feel a lot of you are like moving on from something, and I feel that you're leaving this limitation or this conflict or this drama in the past. You're done with this. You're prioritizing your own needs. But a lot of you are trying something new, or you have a vision of something new in your future. And if you are starting again or starting over in some way, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. And you have learned what works and what doesn't work, and you will be the victor. The Chariot card is the potential position. That means your potential. The Chariot card is all about success, fulfillment, victory, conquering anything that you've been going through and moving forward. You're not going to allow any bump in the road to get you down. And I feel like you are definitely healing from something here, because that Three of Swords, heartbreak, suffering, grief, is in the past position. So firstly, if you've come to this reading and you have gone through a bereavement, I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. I mean, it is a journey, and it is going to ebb and flow. And there are going to be no words of comfort to you in this time. But I wish I could reach out and just hold you or hug you. And I'm sending you so much love out there. It is a process. And there's going to be great days, and there's going to be not so great days. And there's going to be days where you're numb, and there's going to be so many different days, because everybody's different. And, a lot of you will be managing this. That's the only word I can really give you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart and soul. We manage grief. It's not something that we can truly heal. Time, they say, is a healer, but I don't like that sentence, because I feel it kind of robs the moment of how profound it is and how important it is, the connection with a person, that you are grieving. So I feel perhaps this is you realizing that there are no words to describe what you're going through right now, but you're just holding it all together and moving forward and trying to just get on by and do what you got to do. And I feel you're being guided and protected. Nine of Wands can be a protection card. It can indicate that, you're being guarded, especially with that Six of Swords as well. You're protected and you're guided by spirit, or guided by someone who is in spirit, to navigate you towards, happier times. I feel also with that Seven of Swords energy, of course, you feel it's unfair. Okay, and there's an energy here of trying to make an important decision or an informed choice in a decision. You're trying to plan carefully on something, and a lot of you are trying to confront your grief at this time, but it will ebb and flow as it's meant to. And please ask for a sign from your person in spirit if you're going through this. I want you to be aware this is only if you're going through this, because it's in the past position. I don't want anyone worrying that there's something going on in the future. Okay, this is only if you have been going through a bereavement right now and you've just come to this reading. I feel like you will be given the sign, and the sign will be given, well, I'm being given this energy of when you're alone and at your lowest moment, or when you're alone or really contemplating things, suddenly you're going to be given a sign, and it's a monumental sign that says you're not alone. Okay, so please ask for a specific sign. I mean, a swordfish could be a sign. It doesn't have to be, though. That's the only image I've seen in the water so far. If I'm given an image, I will give it to you. But right now, I'm not seeing anything right now. I got to be honest there. Actually, I'm seeing a heart. The heart is coming through now. So a lot of love, unconditional love. Even if this person was very complex, so the relationship was complex, I'm seeing a heart, but I'm not seeing any other images. The only image I saw was a swordfish. So with a lot of love and respect, I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. But I feel you're navigating uncharted territory, and it is a new era in some way with that Ace of Wands. It could have been a very sudden change of your life, but I feel you're being guided towards remembering the good times, of course, but I feel, you're being protected and directed at this time, okay? And yeah, you will definitely get moments of knowingness that they are around you, okay? So with a lot of love and respect. Thank you so much. I'm truly grateful. I'm going to disconnect from that energy. For the majority energy here, I feel like you're trying something new. I feel like you're launching yourself into a new way of living. This could be a new lifestyle choice or a new idea, a new vision. But also a lot of you you're noticing your energy. This is an energy card. You know, it does say here, creation, willpower, inspiration. So I feel, yes, you're inspired and you have, you know, a tenacity like no other sign. You know, you have a lot of willpower where you are moving towards something and you're not going to give up on it. And you're going to accomplish your dreams, whatever that is. Even if it's health related, I feel a lot of you are gathering all this strength in order to conquer or manage something at this time in order to be very resilient and overcome. Okay, so I feel there is this spark within you that is rising up to transform your life in some way. So it can also be a creative vision of your future, but you may be noticing that your energy is affected by your thoughts, because Ten of Swords can indicate intrusive thoughts or moments of doubt. We all have it, okay? We try to conquer those fears and recognize that fear should not rob us of joy, okay? That's very important there. But the Ten of Swords, this can indicate some of you have had some sort of disappointment or setback or a rejection or even a separation. You know, this can be the breaking up of a relationship that was once sturdy. Because we have that Three of Swords in the past, it can indicate that now you're trying to manage the fallout of something. You're trying to recalibrate. You know, Ten of Swords as a crossing position, it means you read both sides of the card. So the upright, of course, is the end of something, and it may have been abrupt. So if you were trying for something, it could be that someone tried to shut you down in some way. But you're like, nope, that's not it. I'm going to find an alternative way. I'm not going to allow your thoughts or your limitations to affect my stride. I feel like you're going to be very diligent and pursue something. You're still going for it. So if someone has advised you not to do something, it could be that you're looking at the alternative or a way around something so that you can conquer it. You know, I feel, of course, you're not the sort of person to ignore advice. You would take it on board, but at the same time, it could be that you're trying to almost like challenge a naysayer. So, for example, if you are someone who wants to pursue a certain career in your life and your parent or guardian says, you know what, maybe you should rethink that. It's not something that perhaps you want to do. And you're like, hey, it's my life. I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do. It can be that you're pursuing it regardless of a naysayer. You know, it could come from your parents' heart. They may be worried. Maybe the industry is volatile, or it's not something that perhaps, you know, is very stable. And it could be they're just worried and they're like, okay, you know, that sort of industry is really challenging to get into. Make sure you have a solid foundation, because you do have a King of Pentacles here, someone giving advice that's grounded, and of course is practical advice. But it can be, well, that's not really my vision, but I'm still going to go and do it. So it could be that you want to be creative, for example, and someone says, oh, well, responsibilities, you know, duties, you need to go off and do this other thing. And you're like, well, actually, I can go off and do the other thing, because the Chariot card is a duality card. So it can be that you're going to do the two things, but you're still not giving up on your vision. You're still going to go for it, and you're still going to be successful. And you're going to show anyone who is a naysayer that you are capable of going the distance and accomplishing incredible stuff, okay? But this is stuff outside of yourself right now. So the Ten of Swords, to reel the energy back on in, it can indicate that there is a fresh new start here. And, you know, the reverse of this card is a fresh new start, but it can also be a recovery card. So some of you could be recovering from a situation, or there's a new start here, or even forgiving something in order to move on. Now, you know, it's important to put the word forgiveness into perspective, because forgiveness does not mean that you let someone off the hook, or you accept their behavior, or, you know, you accept things as they were. It is to lighten your karmic load, to free yourself up of the baggage of that situation so that you can move on lighter. Because if we carry something around with us that we cannot forgive, and there are some things in this world that you know, it's really hard to forgive, right? And some things it's like you don't have to forgive, but you must remove the baggage. Don't carry it around with you, because that will, you know, weigh you down with anger, with frustration, with rage. And, you know, you'll get so consumed by all of that. It will weigh heavily on your mind. That's what a Ten of Swords is all about. You know, the heaviness of the mind and all the thoughts that go in there, you know, that can tear us down. So I feel a lot of you, that word forgiveness, because there is heartbreak here. So this could be that you're in the middle of kind of letting go of something. I feel that's a better way of putting it, letting it go rather than forgiveness, okay? I do have trouble with the word forgiveness because it depends on the circumstances, of course. We must be logical about everybody going through different things. So there are certain things that you can say you can forgive. We all strive for forgiveness, but there's certain things that perhaps have to be looked at from a different angle, and perhaps a different word has to be assigned to it in some way. But I feel whatever it is that you're going through right now, for this fresh new start or moving on or recovering from something, I feel that you're coming out the other side victorious. It's not affecting you as much as it did. It means you're still standing. It means, what's that famous saying? It makes you stronger. I can't think of the very famous saying right now. So because I'm scrying and channeling, it's hard for me to sometimes remember something. So I'll move on from that if that saying comes up. You're probably all screaming it at the screen right now. But yeah, it's making you stronger, whatever this is. Okay. Now the Ten of Swords also being in this position, it can indicate that you've had to sacrifice something in order for something new, or you've had to sacrifice something because it wasn't working, and you're so ready for change, and you maybe even foresee problems ahead, but the challenging cycle is coming to an end, especially since you have a Three of Swords in the past position. So the struggle is it feels right. I got to give you what I can feel with the cards, because what I'm seeing is a completion of something here. So it could be that you've been working on something that's been truly hard, whether it's a lifestyle choice or change, whether it is even a physical activity in the gym. It can be that you've set yourself a challenge and now you're completing the challenge, and that is success. Okay. It feels like it was hard, but you were disciplined and you've done it. So it can be that, you stand victorious because you completed something, or you discovered information that you require to move forward on your next steps. For some of you, it could be that you've been learning new knowledge, educating yourself, because swords are all about the mind, as I mentioned. So it could be that, you have a lot on your plate, you're under a lot of pressure, you've been learning as well, but whatever it is, it's going to set you free. That's the energy I'm getting from your whole reading. Something is setting you free and protecting you, directing you towards your vision. Six of Swords means you've been tested. You've had a rite of passage, something that you've gone through that has been challenging, and maybe even a test that you didn't ask for. It could be an abrupt ending of a relationship or a severance package in the working environment. This is something that I'm only picking up on that you've been going through, not something that you are about to go through. I want you to be aware of that. So please apply it to your situation. It's going to be different for everybody. But this gives you the literal wings to springboard towards something greater. This card is about overcoming problems or moving on from something and having a major breakthrough. And it may not feel like this right now, but I feel like this is an energy of the journey. You're moving on to pastures new, because there's a lot of new energy here. And this could also be within your body. So for example, if you are maturing, you may be noticing different things in your body, or perhaps you're going through hormonal fluctuations, or perhaps, you're trying to calibrate some symptoms that perhaps flare up from time to time. So it can be that you're in this managing kind of period where you are about to conquer something. Perhaps you have a breakthrough. Perhaps you discover a practitioner who can help you, because I'm mentioning the body because the King of Pentacles is there. So this can be about the body and the mind, a reset in some way, or conquering something so that you feel like, you are your best self. So this could be that you have a practitioner or someone who can give you really solid advice to help you manage something. You're still going to be going through it, as it were, but you conquer it in some way. It's like you get to the pinnacle point where it's not affecting you negatively anymore, okay? So that's something that's coming through. But it says here, transition, leaving behind and moving on. I mean, for some of you, this could be, as I said, you are relocating to a new neighborhood, or you're going into a new job. But I feel deep down there's a foundational shift or change within you. Something, has changed in you that is so huge that it is sent a ripple effect out into the rest of your life. And now it's setting you free and helping you be more in the flow, more connected to your goals, your dreams, and your visions. And I mean, the Six of Swords, it's like you passed a test. I mean, some of you may be literally passing a test, like a driving test because you have the Chariot card there, or passing a test that is necessary for your work or for health, for example, you know, but maybe even education, university, all of those things. But I feel this is the test of life. You've been through something and now you're coming through fire. You've walked through fire to get there, because the Nine of Wands is literally to walk through fire. It is a fire element, and it was a challenge, but you were up to the challenge. And we don't like to hear that as humans, that, you know, we were strong enough to take the challenge, so we were given it. It's like, well, that's not fair. But, you know, I feel a lot of you, there is this awakening that you're going through, and you're reaching a new level. There's a new era here for you, a new stage of life, upgrading. Like, for example, the level of success that you're about to reach, it is highly pressurized because you care so much. You know, you have to put in all the work in order to get to where you want to go. And that can indicate that it's hard, it's a struggle. But, you know, some of the greatest minds or famous people of our time, they always look back and reflect and say, you know what I loved about the whole thing the most? It wasn't the success. It was the journey getting there. That was the interesting part. You know, so I'm not so sure on that one, you know, but, you know, sometimes the getting there is the victory rather than the victory itself. So I feel some of you could be meditating on that right now, because you have so many thought cards here, very cerebral. You're reflecting on the journey and how hard the struggle has been, but you are victorious. And because you have so many swords, some of you may even document your life in the future, a memoir perhaps, or, you know, maybe even a mentor, because the King of Pentacles is a mentor card. It can be that you teach other people how to do something, or maybe you help people who are struggling with something that you've been through, and you help them manage it more, because King of Pentacles, let's face it, it's a manager type card. It is someone who takes responsibility for their life, but can also share experiences with others to say, hey, this is how I did it. This is how you can do it too. But coming back to this Three of Swords, the difficulty is in the past. You're being protected and redirected. So if you've had some sort of breakup or hardship, or you've been rejected from something, or something came to an abrupt end, I see a brighter future ahead. I feel like, you know, you are going to conquer and move towards the next stage. King of Pentacles, especially if it's work related, it can indicate that this spurns you off to create your own business that will be very successful and actually make loads of money. Or it can be that you're about to launch yourself into a managerial role where you get a lot of money. So please apply it to different kind of stages that you're at right now. But again, these are all the things outside of yourself. And I feel this is a lament inside of yourself right now. Something has been hard. And, you know, I don't actually want to dwell on how hard it's been, but you had so many challenging cards. I didn't choose the cards for you, my beautiful Capricorn. I really feel a lot of you are holding it all together right now, trying to be positive and work with the changes, trying to say, okay, I got to be practical here. There's a lot of change, and I just got to deal with it. I got to be in the flow. I got to be flexible and make it work, because that's one thing you're really good at, making things work. Okay, so I feel a lot of you are connected to that at this time. Now, of course, Ten of Swords can be conflict. And if we apply this to the world right now, for some of you, because these could be thoughts. I mean, we're all affected by what's going on in the world right now, economically, you know, as well as physically. There's a lot of volatility, and it can be, I'm only mentioning economically there because you are protecting your finances or looking at how unfolding events that are critical, because Ten of Swords is a critical energy. It can indicate very abrupt responses and very catastrophic kind of worrying situations, let's put it that way. And it can be that you're wondering where you feel like you belong in all this, or how it's going to affect you, or how to be navigating this period, because the Chariot card is to navigate the chariot. And we've got the King of Pentacles. It's like, you know, you hope to be stable and secure and safe. Security is important there, stability. And the Nine of Wands indicates that you're someone who, no matter the circumstances, you'll make sure that you protect. You know, it is a defense card. It means that you will guard. You will be in a good position to be safe and secure for you and your family. So if these are things that you're worried about right now, I feel, you know, these could be measures that you're taking right now, whether this is economically, whether this is personally. Some of you may be like wondering how it will affect long term, because Ten of Swords and the Nine of Wands can be the vision of something that could happen in the future. The defenses are up, in fight or flight mode. So I feel the Sun energy indicates that you're seeing clearly how you can navigate this period. Okay, but let's again bring the energy back to you. These could be thoughts that you're having right now that are outside of yourself. You know, you're being pulled in many different directions. You have so much on your mind. Ten of Swords can be so many intrusive thoughts, and there is a requirement for stillness in order to recalibrate your energy. You may feel it's exhausting to have so many things on your mind. You have a beautiful supercomputer brain, but at the same time, you've got so much going on right now, there's a need to prioritize or to slow down or ground oneself. You have one card of grounding here with that King of Pentacles. Everything else is very airy based, you know, air cards, which can indicate that some things in your life have been up in the air and there is a need to ground, but also your thoughts could have been making you feel somehow on autopilot, or not that you're drifting, because I feel like you have a goal. You're definitely goal-oriented at this time. But, I mean, for some of you, over the last couple of years, it can be that you felt like you're drifting with that Six of Swords. Even though you have goals and dreams and you're focused on things, with the Ten of Swords crossing, it can be that some of the things that you used to love doing, there's an emptiness there, or it doesn't feel the same way, or friendships are evolving, or things are changing. I mean, all of your reading says there is huge monumental change going on in your life, and you're just trying to navigate this change right now, and it is all about your journey. But you will be victorious. The Chariot card says there's success, and this is the potential position, potential for success, but also, as you can see, those beautiful sea turtles there, they're in the flow, but also they have that shell on their back for protection. So this again comes down to grounding and protection. It says self-control, discipline, and success. So a lot of you could even be cutting out things that limit your progress or things that distract you. Ten of Swords can be to sever ties with something that is distracting you and stopping you from moving forward towards your greatness. So with that King of Swords, it means you're being practical. You're keeping your vision alive. You're being stricter with yourself. You're being diligent. You're saying, okay, this is what I need to do. You've got your business head on. Even though, you know, you may not be focused on business, I'm just kind of highlighting that there is a very strict energy about the King of Swords. To strategize, what is my plan? To get structured and honor it. Take accountability and responsibility for your life. That's what I'm feeling from this. You're being rational. It's like you're kind of also bringing your sorrow or your worries into perspective and saying, how can I use this struggle and turn pain to gain? Because that's what I'm seeing, turning pain to gain. And, you know, that can be in all areas of life. It can be that if you're hitting the gym, for example, that's pain. For some of us, definitely for me, that's pain. But then there's gain because you are keeping your heart healthy, for example, and you know, you are keeping active. So I feel there's something here that will benefit you long term, and it was worth the struggle, is what I'm seeing. But it says here, head over heart, clear truth, and discipline. And you have a lot of cards of discipline, getting organized, being on top, seeing things as they truly are, getting the facts, having a hunch, but then digging down and getting the information to back it up so that you can make an informed decision about something. And that's what I see with this Seven of Swords. Some of you have a big decision to make, and life is, of course, a journey. And you may be making a decision at this moment in time, and you're sitting on the fence of making that decision, and you want to be a little bit more independent and free and make that decision, and it will be the right one. Okay, you're sticking to the courage of your convictions, and whatever it is, I feel, you know, there is prosperity on the other side of it. There is security, there is grounding. I mean, some of you could also be looking at your roots or your family tree at this moment in time and looking at how your generations throughout your lineage have handed the baton down to you, that long line, and now it's like you're going for gold on something, or you're moving forward. You're like maybe even cutting out a generational wound or a generational cycle repeat, something in the family, because I'm being given the word family there as well. And it can be that, you know, you are finding more balance, harmony, and it's like in spirit, your family, it's like I'm seeing one person and then a long line of generational people behind, like this big long support system, this support network. It's like you do not walk alone. You have very strong support network guiding you towards this success point or conquering something, saying, we got you. And I feel, yeah, there's just this incredible energy here. I want you to be aware as well. My guides just made me aware of it. There's a lot of light coming from these figures, crown chakra, okay? It's not in all of the cards. It's not in this card in particular. There's a person on this one, okay? But in all of these cards, if you notice, there is light shining behind the figure, the crown chakra, okay? Thoughts become things. So a lot of you are looking at your thoughts and how they intrusively tear you down or provoke doubt. So you could be managing those intrusive thoughts at this time and using them to structure or build you up in some way, to celebrate you, because you don't tend to celebrate wins. But this is your advice to yourself in this moment with that Seven of Swords, okay? Now, Seven of Swords is often a very misconstrued card, okay? It can indicate you doing something in stealth mode, quietly making some changes in your life that will actually ripple out on the whole journey of your life as you value yourself more and you do something that, you know, you're going to be really proud of there. But it can also be that you caught someone out in an untruth or a deception, or you caught someone in gossiping mode, or, you know, you're intrigued by someone as to how they run their life and why they're so mysterious, for example. So I'm going to pull a quick card on this. It says here, deception, tactics, strategy, and trickery. I mean, looking at your energy, I would say more that this card represents strategy for you because you're so cerebral in your thoughts. It feels connected to your plans at this time. I would also say that if you're trying to do anything underhanded, I got to be honest with you here and address it. I'm not going to ignore the fact that it's written on this card, and sometimes the Seven of Swords can be connected to doing something underhanded. The Sun card next highlights you'll be caught. You'll be seen. So if it's something you're thinking about right now, just be a little bit mindful of that, okay? I'm not here to judge, but the history of the Seven of Swords, and this is why it gets a little bit convoluted with this card. The history of this card, it indicates that diplomacy is the key. The figure in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the figure is, you know, removing the weaponry from the army. The army is in the background, the tents there, they're on the move, and the figure is removing 5 swords, wants to take all of the swords, but could actually take 6 swords because they've got 3 in one arm, 2 in the other, but manages to take 5 swords because they're in stealth mode and they mean to come back and remove the other 2, but they want to remove the ability to fight. They want to find a resolution to a situation that is very delicate, but they don't want to get aggressive. They want to be diplomatic. So this can indicate that there is a challenging conversation you have to have with a person, and diplomacy is the key. But also it can indicate that when you're doing something that looks like one thing, it could be misconstrued. So there could be like misunderstanding here that needs a resolution. So I just want to see what it is here for you. Ten of Swords. Isn't that interesting? I do apologize about that, my beautiful Capricorn. I had to cough there. My throat got a little bit dry, so I just quietened my coughing. You don't want to hear that really loud in your ear, believe me. So I do apologize about that. But the Ten of Swords, because you have it here, it can indicate if something has come to an abrupt end, you may not trust the situation. If you've had a line of inquiry about something and suddenly it's gone dead and nobody's talking about something, it could be that you suspect ulterior motives. For some of you, if it was a relationship that ended abruptly, you could suspect that there was some sort of interference there with that Three of Swords. Some of you, it could also be a trust issue. If you've had a heartbreak in the past, for example, if someone has cheated on you in the past, it could be that as you move forward to embrace a new start, it could be chemistry between you and someone new, but you're trying not to allow the ghosts of the past to haunt your relationship. You know, a new person is not going to repeat a cycle with you. You know, you're going to be very happy with a new person, someone who's loyal, someone who's grounded, someone who knows what they want, someone who's not going to try and make you jealous or, you know, try to provoke you or cheat on you. So it can be that you're trying to conquer something within yourself to allay your fears that you've left that past behind. It's not going to repeat a cycle. You know, for some of you, if you've abruptly been let go from a working environment, for example, and again, this is only if you've experienced this in this moment, you may be feeling there's been some underhanded dealings going on there. You don't trust the situation fully, but the truth will always come to light, okay? And if some of you are trying to, like, sort of quietly phase yourself out of a situation, I feel like you will be challenged. But a lot of you, that Nine of Wands can indicate you may challenge something. So if you are noticing your friendships are evolving and someone has been really quiet and, you know, you feel there's something going on behind the scenes, you may challenge them and say, hey, what's going on here? I haven't seen you in a while. You haven't replied to my message. Something's going down. Did you want to talk about something? So it could be that you challenge somebody on something there. But I feel more than anything, this is a quest for independence. Seven of Swords is a quest for independence. It can be connected to you wanting to do something alone or walk a path that people don't understand, and that's okay because it's your path. You know, that Ten of Swords can be that you want to leave something. You want to just end something. It's your prerogative to do that. And you just want to do something alone or different. But it's connected to this Ten of Swords because you got it twice here. So that Seven of Swords can be that you want to break free from something. You're tired of being misunderstood, or it can be that you'd want to avoid a direct confrontation on something. And, you know, you just want to move on from something. You're aware of it, but you don't want to get involved in it. Some of you could also be witnessing some sort of argument or conflict, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to get involved in that. Don't draw me into this. My involvement stops here. It's the end. So I feel a lot of you are honoring your power, valuing yourself, and disconnecting from something that you feel is not good for you or is not conducive to you moving forward, okay? But also I feel it could be a deliberating phase. When the Seven of Swords means you need to make a decision on something, it could be that now you've got all the facts and you're making decisive action. You're doing something about it. You've gathered all the information and now you're making an informed decision because you don't want to have to return. Now, I would say with that Seven of Swords as well, don't go too quickly into making a decision. You know, if you're signing contracts and things like that, look at the fine print because Seven of Swords can indicate if you go too quickly or you feel pressurized into doing something, it can be that you miss something and you have to return. You'll make a misstep or an error. So get all the advice, and if you need some sort of person who has qualifications to help you with that as well, it's advisable to employ that person or to get their advice, mentor energy right there. You know, they could reveal something that had the potential to see you have a setback. So just watch out for that, okay? But the Sun card is the circumstances outside of yourself. Positivity, joy, happiness. Whatever this is, this abrupt ending, this abrupt new start, or this exciting launch pad, because that's what I see. That's your foundation card. The Ace of Wands is quick transformation. It is destiny and fate intervening to offer you an opportunity that's going to be requiring, I would say, a fairly quick response, but don't act in haste, okay? The Sun energy indicates divine intervention, protection, redirection, and a flourishing. I feel like you've been going through a major period of growth, and I feel on the other side of that is happiness. And that happiness, of course, it comes from within, but there's a lot of abundance here for you. And this is something outside of yourself. It's going to happen. You're being guided towards it. So you're coming out of those challenging times. Now we have the King of Pentacles, hope and a fear. So a lot of you may be worried about money. This is a hope and a fear position there. It says here abundance, prosperity, and provider. So if you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders financially, it can be that you're worried about the economy, worried about your circumstances right now. But I do see here divine intervention to save the day, as it were, and put you in a position to help your situation. You're taking action though, you're not just sitting back, of course, but I do see here that you're protected and directed. But because it is in the reverse position, you know, when it's in this position, you read the upright and the reverse of the card. It can indicate that you're being really decisive about your finances. You're being stricter with your finances. You have the smarts to make sure that you are business savvy and pool your resources to attract more wealth or to double down on what you have already. Make your resources go a long way. But also, this is a body card, so it can indicate that you have not been feeling 100% yourself for some time. You may have felt like you've been on autopilot or even in fight or flight mode based on the last couple of years and what humanity have been going through. So it can be that you are reigniting that spark or rediscovering a part of yourself that you feel has been missing for some time. Or part of you is like a part of your life ended abruptly. For example, you know, if you're a parent, you know, it's a monumental change of lifestyle when you have a child. So it can be that if you are like a party animal in the past, as you mature, because this is a mature card, it can indicate that, of course, your world has changed. It's shifted. Now, of course, you celebrate the changes, but at the same time, it's been a lot of stress. It's been a lot of struggle. It's been hard. But still, you know, you love that you're building a family, for example, and that you're navigating the next generation. You're a mentor for the next generation. Doesn't mean it wasn't hard. Doesn't mean that, you know, when they're going through terrible 2s or 3s or teenage years that it's not going to be challenging. But I feel like you're well equipped to deal with this, okay? And you are a great parent. Even though sometimes when it's really hard, it feels like you're failing. But actually you're not. You're learning. There's no such thing as failure, only learning how to navigate. That's why that Chariot card is there. You're adjusting to the circumstances that you have in this moment. And I'm only like highlighting different scenarios. You may be listening to this reading and going, I'm not a parent, you know, and thinking, I don't want to have children. And again, that's your prerogative. That may be something that you've decided you don't want to do in this lifetime. And, you know, there may be some interference from your family, for example, who are like, oh, well, it'd be nice if you had a child or settled down, or, and you're like, no, that's not the path I want to take. And that's, again, your prerogative. So it could be that you're defending your decision to either have something in your life or not, or do something, or have a family or not. So, you know, this could be you defending what you stand for in your truth. And I feel like, you know, over time, people accept what it is you desire as your truth and as your life, because this is your life. But I see that King of Pentacles as you being secure in your decision and creating stability long-term for you and the people that you care about. The Nine of Wands indicates you defend your position or you protect yourself in challenging times. A lot of you, this can be that you've got a threshold that you reached with stress and now you're managing stress levels. It could be that you've had a wake-up call regarding all of the things that you've been going through, and now you are protecting yourself and making sure that you lower cortisol levels or realize that you reached a certain limit and you don't want to have things get critical, for example. So you are kind of like dialing it down a little bit, making sure that you have the courage to spend time alone. For some of you, if you have had something that didn't go your way or you feel defeated in something, the Nine of Wands can be that you're going to try again, and this time it's going to work. This time it's going to be incredibly successful and you're going to be glad that you didn't give up on it. So you could be like reconnecting to something from your past there, or reconnecting to something that you felt didn't work out the best the first time round. You know, the greatest artists of our time are always tweaking their art. They do something and go, okay, they're not completely satisfied with it, but they give it space and breath, and then they come back and then they redo it, or they enhance it or detract from it. They do something to change it. So some of you could be doing that right now because there's a lot of change going on. But it says here, as I mentioned earlier, resilience, grit, and taking a last stand. So this indicates a lot of you can be that, you know, if you have been in a relationship in the past and there's trust issues, but you still want love, you still want to go out there and find a relationship. You're not giving up on love. You are deserving of love. There's chemistry between you and a person. And I feel like you're going to meet a person who is very protective when it comes to love. And they're going to be all in from the very beginning. And there's going to be no cause to question this person because there's trust. And I feel like you're not giving up. So I'm just going to pull a quick card on that Nine of Wands before I close your reading. Because the Nine of Wands is a protector. The Nine of Wands indicates that yes, you've gone through something. You're a wounded warrior, but you have the strength and the courage to succeed and proceed. And for some of you, it's building in confidence, not allowing those intrusive thoughts to tear you down. Five of Cups. Five of Cups indicates either grieving a situation or lamenting something that was hard, but the best is yet to come. If you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the figure on the Five of Cups looks at 3 cups that are spilt. So it can be that some of you have lost your loving feeling for something. Things are hitting different. Hobbies, people, situations. It can be that something inside of you has changed. You're evolving. You're having a spiritual awakening. And you're vibing higher and other people around you are not. And you're like, oh, I feel really like discombobulated in this situation. Why is it these things, they used to feel great, but now they just don't? But behind the figure, there are 2 cups that are full. And the figure hasn't discovered it yet. So I feel like you're turning a page. And although you may not feel like it right now, I feel this is an energy of you discovering that the best is yet to come. The Two of Cups normally means that something that you want in your heart, that you've been holding true as a vision or something you desire, it shall be matched in vibration with the universe and you shall have it. So I feel there is this energy of letting go of what's not working for you right now and embracing things that are. As I mentioned, you're holding it all together, and I feel the best is yet to come. But also, this Five of Cups, it can indicate that you've had a disappointment, or you've gone through something and you're appreciating the moment as much as possible. I mean, some of you may feel very isolated in your circumstances or lonely in your circumstances, but it can indicate that you're trying to get yourself involved in community. I mean, there's 2 kings here. These I read as aspects of self in this particular spread because, you know, these are stages of you. Something that you're thinking is materializing with that King of Pentacles. But it can also be you discovering a new person in your life. You could be about to go to an event or thinking about going to an event. The Sun is to allow yourself to be seen. So you could get involved in the community in some way. And, you know, there's something creative here that you're excited about. And you could find a friend for life. So if you're feeling very isolated right now, I feel like there is something that is about to change your world. And you will find a person that you have an affinity with, a bestie. But I feel there is transformation around you, and actually it's really positive. But sometimes humans, when change is afoot, we overthink it, we get nervous of it because we don't know the outcome. You know, we get uncertain about the change because sometimes we like things as they are. But then when things remain as they are for too long, we get bored or frustrated or anxious or tense. So I feel a lot of you, you're on the cusp of some monumental change there. And on the other side is success and joy and, of course, perseverance. You know, anything that we ever gain in life that is something of merit, it basically requires a lot of strength and sometimes struggle, but it requires diligence, passion, and you've got a lot of passion there. So we have let go of the idea that you're not ready. You're ready. Now, that did come up in your reading. Something you've been thinking about for a long time. It's time for action. Don't go too quickly, though. Don't be moving in haste, but I feel the time of action is upon you. That's why you got that Ace of Wands in that position. But you're ready for this next stage, whatever it is, this new beginning. And remember, many of the clouds casting shadows aren't real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Sometimes the thoughts in our mind, the intrusive thoughts, can build a world where we're imagining worst case scenarios, let's put it that way. So it says here, remember, many of the clouds casting shadows aren't real. So this is about you being really decisive, bringing your worries into perspective. But also this did come up in your reading as well. Let go. I mean, really let go. There's something better on the horizon. So this is the nature of letting go of something that's hard to let go of because you're moving on to pastures new. A new chapter requires a new version of you. So I feel that's what you're going through right now, a review period, as it were, deeply in thought. And finally, we've got challenge yourself to be stronger than your challenges. And that's what that Nine of Wands is all about. You are stronger than your challenges. You've really overcome something here, and the best is yet to come, okay? So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or ring before we close. Okay, so we have, oof, I'm loving it. We have a crown. Remember your crown. Empower yourself, okay? Remember your worth. But also, the crown chakra is all about your thoughts. Thoughts, they can build you up or tear you down. Thoughts really do become things. Remember, thoughts, especially when they are spoken, words are spellings. They're cast out into the universe to connect to vibrations that create the reality that we truly desire. But if we're constantly catastrophizing about worst case scenario, we can also draw that in towards us as well. So be mindful of your thoughts. But I would say, because I'm being given this energy of adjust your crown and remember your power, okay? So I'll leave it there, my beautiful Capricorn. I hope something resonates there. I know it was very complex, may not resonate with everyone, but I have to honor all the cards and the energy and the images that come out. So I will leave it there. Thank you so much, and love and light.